what could burst this bubble, do you think, John?
I mean, with the adoption of any new technology, lots of things can go wrong. I think the biggest thing that can go wrong is a loss of trust. Somebody, I mean, we saw FTX blow up, right? I mean, that set the industry back a very long time. And so I think here is the same thing. I think that, there are all these, intermediaries that are tokenizing things, putting them on chain. And as far as I know, they're all, good actors. They're transparent about what they're doing. They're, describing what they're doing as giving equity exposure or giving exposure to whatever the asset is. But, if there's a so-called rug pull in a place like that, that would set the industry back big time.
I think that the risk with what we're doing now with RWAs is much greater. If we're going to have something like this on US equities or some other asset class, which they are participating in, I actually think the consequences to the industry will be significantly worse.
So is digital assets as a space becoming systemic?
Absolutely.
Any chances do you think, Yuval, that the technology could go wrong?
Absolutely.
What are you going to...
I give this example. I mean, how many years ago was it found that, SSH has an overflow bug after how many years that the internet was in production? I mean, the technology inherently has risk, right? And it's not just the technology going wrong. This is why I said that, there's multiple elements. When you had banks that you had to go and withdraw money in physical form, bank run was a very hard thing to do. When you move into electronic, it's not that the technology inherently has something bad in it, but bank run, as we've learned over the last few years, is something that is much easier to achieve. So I think there's multiple elements, but I think for us, again, as an industry, we need to think about bugs in the tech. What does it mean? There's, if Wellington that manages $2 trillion worth of asset lost their keys, does that mean that $2 trillion of equities are gone? No. What does that mean? We need to think. And then there's also the operational element. Like I said, we're moving into 24/7. It's risk systems that are now very different. It's operational, processes that are very different. And what we're doing with a lot of the partners is trying to think about these different elements. And it's not to say that, this technology is bulletproof. No technology is bulletproof. But to really think about, well, how are you going to react to these different elements?